So let's sing the blessings together. It'll be a preview because we're going to be lighting our candlelit menorahs inside. So let's sing together. So, it's a special treat today because we're not only lighting the menorah, we're also going to be placing a mezuzah on our brand new doors. So if everyone could sort of make your way underneath our canopy, that way the snow, you'll be protected from the snow. So we'll all get close, and the closeness, the warmth of not only the menorah but of our bodies will keep us warm. So we're here to place the mezuzah on our doors. And there's actually, the reason why we chose tonight, it wasn't for the weather. The reason why we chose tonight is because there are many connections between Hanukkah and a mezuzah. So what are the connections? In the Talmud, which is the code of Jewish law, the rabbis discuss where do you put your menorah. So where do we put our menorahs? In the window. In the window, right? On the window. Well, that's not one of the options that the rabbis talk about. The rabbis actually put the menorah in your doorway. That's originally, 2,000 years ago, that's where you're supposed to put your menorah. And so the rabbis debate, which side of your door should you put it on? Which side of your door should you put the menorah on? Yeah?
On the other side.
What do you mean the other side? The side that the mezuzah is not on, right? So they say you put it on the left side as you're coming in. You put your menorah on the left side. The reason being because your mezuzah is on the right side. So the reason being that on Hanukkah we're supposed to be publicizing the miracle of Hanukkah. It's called Pirsume Denisa. We're publicizing this miracle of the oil that lasted for 8 days and for the victory of the Maccabees. And you have to show people the miracle. So you do that by putting it in your doorway. So for the rabbis it was, you put it in your door, and you put it on the left side. So you have it on the left side, you have your mezuzah on the right side, and that way the door to your home, the entrance to your home, is filled with mitzvot, is filled with commandments, is filled with good deeds, on the right side and on the left side. So that's one way that Hanukkah and the mezuzah are connected. The other way is that Hanukkah means dedication. Hanukkah is the dedication of what? The dedication of what? The temple. The dedication of the temple. Over 2,000 years ago, the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed, and the Maccabees had to come and rebuild it. And when they rebuilt it, they rededicated it. And they celebrated this festival called Hanukkah, which means dedication. Hanukkah literally means dedication. And when we put a mezuzah on our home, it's called Hanukkah, but Hanukkah Tabayit, the dedication of our house. So today, we're not only celebrating the dedication of the temple 2,000 years ago, we're celebrating the dedication of our spiritual home, White Meadow Temple. And in a sense, Hanukkah each year is about us not only dedicating but rededicating ourselves. We dedicate ourselves to the study of Torah, we dedicate ourselves to Jewish tradition, Jewish values, and by dedicating our entranceway and dedicating this home with the mezuzah, we also dedicate ourselves to preserving this place as a spiritual home. And since we no longer have a temple to be the place where we communicate with God, this place, this home, this Beit Knesset will be our place to worship God, to gather together as friends and as community members, and to make our world a better place. So before we get to the actual placing of our mezuzah, I just would like to invite the mayor, if you'd like to just give us some words of greeting before we proceed.
I wanted to first thank all of you for making Rockaway part of our community. And I also want to thank you all for doing a wonderful job in the renovation of your synagogue. It's truly an enhancement to our community. So I want to thank all of you for what you've done for our community. And also to wish you a happy Hanukkah, because I think it's very important that we recognize and all point out that all of us have our own religious beliefs, and that we should be very proud of the ability to say them out loud, not to change them to just happy holidays. I think that happy Hanukkah is what we're here for today, and I'm very privileged to wish you all a happy Hanukkah. Thank you.
I just want to thank the mayor for being here, Mayor Susie, and for his support, and just thank a few other people. We're going to be doing a more formal dedication later when the weather is a little bit more conducive to being outside and celebrating this beautiful entrance, and when we have the rest of the beautiful landscaping in. But I just want to thank some people. First of all, the Kreutzer family and Susan Marino. I'm not sure if she's
right here.
She is. With the gift that enabled us to make this beautiful construction, and also our committee, the construction committee, Mike Thaler, Stu Lefkowitz, and Rich Chasen. I want to thank the president, our president Mark Levine, and the board of trustees. Also our past president, Cheryl Kirsch, who was instrumental in making this happen as well. Our architect, Barry Ginsberg, our general contractor, Anthony Mazzola, community member, and Jason Wiener, who's also a community member who provided the lighting for us. And as I said, we're about to put up the mezuzot, and they were actually created by community members. So I want to thank Pam Chases and June Zeter for creating these beautiful, there you are, creating these beautiful mezuzot that we're about to place here. And also to the Sisterhood for sponsoring this wonderful event. As we affix these mezuzot, we also affix and affirm a new life for our home, our synagogue. May it always be firmly based on truth. May this place be a reflection of inner truth, and may it be a place of hospitality extended with love and sincerity. In the setting of the mezuzot upon these doorposts, this threshold becomes a sacred passage, and this house of worship, this sanctuary inscribed by Torah, blessed by God. We are commanded into the Shema, in the central prayer, which is contained in the mezuzah that we are about to place. It says, "You shall inscribe the words of Torah upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates." And we also read in the Torah, Jacob went on his way, and messengers of God encountered him. When he saw them, Jacob said, "This is God's camp. I am sending a messenger before you to guard you on the way and to bring you to a place that I have made ready." The Shulchan Aruch, our code of Jewish law, says, with the mezuzah, whenever we enter or leave the house, we are confronted with God's name. And remembering God's love, we will awaken from our lethargy. We will be awake and aware that nothing in this world endures forever except the knowledge of the rock of the world. Life is no straight and easy corridor along which we travel free and unhampered. But always, if we have faith, God will open a door for us. Not perhaps one that we ourselves would have ever thought of, but one that will ultimately prove good for us. May the door of this Beit Knesset, this house of assembly, be wide enough to receive those who hunger for love and are lonely for friendship. May it welcome those who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May this door be too kind to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young feet. And may this be a doorway to Torah, to learning, to God, to a rich and meaningful life. God is our keeper. God is our shade upon our right hand. God will preserve our going out and our coming in from this time forth and forever. So we're going to say the specific blessing that we say before we put on the mezuzah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu likboa mezuzah. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who rules over the universe, whose mitzvot add holiness to our lives, and who gave us the mitzvah to affix the mezuzah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'achiyanu v'kiyamanu v'kiyanu l'azman hazeh. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe, for granting us life, for sustaining us, and for bringing us to this day.
Rabbi?
Yes.
It's also the 60th year of our
That's
It was. I saw that too.
wait, there's more. Let's come in and celebrate the beginning of our 60th year.
go extremely fast in the first 6 weeks. And completely collapse when we set.
I think it's snowing, people are saying.
No.
We'll wait until everybody gets in. It's 46.
Again, I'm not high up on a totem pole.
All right, so wait, I want to see the other one. Let's look at the menorah. Wait,
Happy Hanukkah, sir.
Happy Hanukkah.
Stay shared or no? No. Very nice. Really? What?
Oh, we put it on the doorknob.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
We'll have to.
Stay if you want to.